Okay.
Okay.
So are you feeling settled, or would it be supportive to start with the Muse method
No, I'm
to get
settled. I can't, we came in. It's just been
good?
like chill. Like I feel chill. I really do.
Awesome. So I
Hmm.
want to. What are you noticing since our last session together? I know we saw each other on Monday for the full moon circle, but what have you been noticing since our last time together?
Um, I think I'm getting more intuitive. Like,
Mm.
so, Holly, Miss
Yeah.
Holly, she was
Mhm.
great. That was different. That was different. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it was different. I don't know. Um, it was like different. It kind of made you want to color with the wrong hand in a sense, different. Like,
Yeah.
because at one point I started doing both hands and I was like, oh yeah, this is most definitely different. So that was different. And I told her about the black cat story because we was just like
Oh,
chatting. So I told her about the black cat story. And I'm like, I told her what happened. And I don't know, the channeling of the energy, I don't know. She made a comment and I just drove home. I'm like, are you serious? Like, I'm like, are you effing serious? Like, it was enough to blow your mind moment. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, I'm around the right people. I do know that. Because she was talking about channeling energy, and I came home and I read the paper, and like I read the sheet she gave us stuff, and it was interesting because it was different. So she was like, I told her the black cat story. She was like, what did that mean for you? And I'm like, I don't know. And then I made another comment about, like the intuition, the voice. People been telling you to
yeah.
follow, you hear, follow your intuition. Spirit wants you to follow your intuition. And you sitting there like, what is that? I mean, at one point, and then she made a comment. She was like, oh, it gets louder. And I'm like, holy shit. It just another one of those like, wow. It just, I don't know. I don't know. I just drove home. I was like mind blown. Cause it's like you play with your own power in a sense. Like it was a realization, like you didn't played yourself so long. Not played
Yeah.
yourself. It is not like a wrong thing, but it's just like the whole circle, the whole point of the circle, you know what I mean? She was channeling energy. She was talking about channeling energy. And us to had it was a little chat, and she was like, oh, it gets louder. And she was speaking from her own perspective because obviously, she didn't went through something too. And I
Yeah.
was like, I was telling her I have never felt the need to be so quiet, like to just be quiet. And I made a comment and she was like, it gets louder. And I'm like, holy shit. I drove home. I'm like, holy effing shit. Like the whole time, I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So it's been more of that since last meeting. It's like
Okay.
trusting yourself, trusting myself more. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that meant. I really honestly don't know. It just hit me different. It hit me like it wasn't mad at, it wasn't.
It
I
was,
want to talk to her. Like, what do you mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but what if you do know? What if it is happening? Your
right.
intuition, your muse is getting louder because you're connecting to yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
your muse and your intuition, because your muse speaks through your intuition. She's that inner
Mm-hmm.
artist within you, this fierce advocate for everything that you are going after. She's like, I got your
Mm-hmm.
back. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
as you're doing this work, it doesn't surprise me that it's getting louder and you know it.
Right. Right.
And what if like this desire to speak to somebody else about it is just like you feeding that inner knowing to give you more of a sense of security that you're following your way.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
And that's why you're being called to come to these spaces where there's others that are following their intuition. They're following the way that they are being guided without anybody telling them the
Mhm.
way.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
Because there's
Mm-hmm.
no one way, there's your way. And it's kind
Right.
of follow. that spiral that's
Mhm,
always evolving.
mhm. Right, that's
And she
always
had a
going.
great question, like, even remember she asked Monica, like, "Ask the cat or ask the snake, what is your message for me?" Like, you could just keep asking the cat, "What is your message for me?" And every day it could be different
Right, yeah, right, right. Mhm,
because
mhm,
it's you connecting to divine through the image that is coming very loudly to you.
mhm. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. And then being around people that don't think you nuts, you know?
No, we want more. Bring more. Like, and I love, like, right when you walked in, you had that beautiful bouquet, and I don't remember who said something to you, but they commented on your hair right away
Uh-huh.
about how fabulous your hair looked. So, like, to me, it's like you are being seen for all of you, and we want more.
Yeah.
Like, everybody, my circle is like, I want more because I know Kate came and talked to you for a little bit,
Uh-huh.
and like I just love people gravitating towards you
Uh-huh.
in this presence
Yeah,
that's just that's just you. Like, you don't have to do anything, Lucretia.
right.
It's just being you.
Mhm. Yeah, I like the cake too.
Yeah.
Mhm, yeah. Yeah. That's the when I walked when the dentist first walked in the room, that's the first thing she said. She was like, "I love your hair." I'm like, "Oh, thank
To
you."
me, it's an image of like that deep sense of self inside of you. Like, you have this way with plants. You speak through the plants. They speak through you. And
Mhm.
now it's in your body, like showing others, like, this is me.
Mhm. Mhm. And I didn't ask her to do this. I did not ask her to do this. I
Right.
just said, "Put it up," and she just started.
Because
I
she
don't know.
sees you. Your
Yeah.
stylist is working with you for so long, she sees you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 20 plus. Mhm.
How does what do you know what how does that feel like inside of you with so many people like really seeing you and honoring all of you?
It feels good, but it always felt good. It's
Yeah.
just I'm noticing it now because I called my master gardener lady today, and I haven't been as active in doing my volunteer work because of
Yeah.
the whole what's been going on all year. And
Yeah.
obviously she don't want to drop she if I didn't call her and talk to her today, she probably would have dropped me, but she don't want to drop me. Like she don't want to drop me. I love her so much. And when she
Yeah.
picked up the phone, she was like, "Hi, Lucretia." And she said that some like she 3 or 4 people then asked about me in the last month. And she was like, "I don't know why." Because I haven't been active. Like I was out there with these people, shoulder to
Yeah.
shoulder. And I'm like, well, I told her what was going on, and I told her, like it's been a really rough year, and she was okay with it or whatever. She told me what to do to stay active because she don't want to drop me. But I'm like,
Okay.
see, but you asking that question and me thinking about what she said, I'm like, people been noticing me. I just didn't notice me. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
Whoa.
I the one who took my hands off the wheel because I am, like noticeable. Like I am a good person, you know what I mean? I took my own hands off the wheel. For her to say
Yeah.
that, I haven't seen Brenda all year. And she was like, "Oh, 3 or 4 people asked about you." I said, "Well, Brenda, I haven't been active." She said, "Well, that's the reason why they have been asking about you then. Because I go around to all the different, gardens.
Yeah.
And I had two
Yeah.
or three of them that I just love. I love the people, I love the gardens. So, but I
Yeah.
haven't been out there. I didn't go out there to do the day. I usually do flower arrangements for the daycare kids.
Yeah.
So, like, that was part of my volunteer work. I didn't do that this year. I just wasn't, you know what I mean? I wasn't in the mood.
Yep.
I had to take a break from it. And I told her I've been working more and stuff like that. So, yeah, for you to ask that and then for her to make that comment.
Yeah.
So,
When you said that people have been noticing you, but you haven't been noticing yourself, you took your hands off the wheels. I had tears welling up in me because of the
mhm,
recognition that you're putting your hands back on the wheel
yeah,
and you're allowing yourself to see what others see.
mhm,
You're allowing yourself to fully see you and know that you matter and your
Yeah,
contribution and your presence makes a difference.
absolutely.
So
Mhm.
that's huge. I have chills as I'm saying that, Lucretia.
Yeah. That is huge. Right. Mhm.
And you're advocating for yourself to move towards a life that you desire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I
And
was
I
go
had
ahead.
that thought earlier too. I was like, so I'm stuck there like with the it gets louder. I'm just like, so all the stuff that, you read, the work that we do, the circles that I come to, I mean, it obviously is getting louder, but like it gets loud. I know, and I know it gets more like it's more to see because shit been happening. Like it's more things to see. I went upstairs and I seen after I'm thinking about this, I'm like, oh my God. So like the channeling of the energy, it just intrigued me because obviously it works. And when you're paying attention to it, but like now it's all really starting to make sense. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like you've been reading and practicing, like, but right.
You're moving your
Yeah,
head to your heart. You're
right.
living it.
Yeah, right.
It's
Exactly.
not knowing.
Right.
So
Yeah.
have you noticed like what happens for you when you follow your intuition and when you don't follow your intuition?
Yeah. Yeah. It usually works out. Like it usually works out that first of all, it's there for a reason. It
Yeah.
works out for the better.
Mm.
Um, let it guide you instead of trying to control it is what I'm learning. You know what I mean?
Ah,
Trying to control the
yeah.
outcome. Um, I don't know, just being too, because I haven't been yelling like since Thanksgiving, since they pissed me off in here. I really haven't.
Yeah.
I don't know if I haven't just gave a care or if that's good or bad, but it's been working out real well for me. And it's not like not saying nothing and something boiling up inside of you. You get what I'm saying? You know how you see something like, oh, you F face. And it's not that. It's just like, oh, mm, let me go sit, let me go back to what I was doing. Versus because
Yeah.
I got a 14-year-old, she leaves stuff everywhere. Her daddy clean up behind her. Like it's just a total effing mess. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
Yeah.
this ain't my mess. This ain't my
Nope.
mess. Mm-mm. It's
So
not.
what I hear from you is, and tell me if I'm wrong or right, you're discerning where to put your energy.
That's correct. That is very correct.
And you're not trying to control things and like hold it so tightly that you can't let spirit move through you.
You're
Because
right. Or this.
yeah, go
Mhm.
ahead. Or what?
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, tell, is there been moments where you've tried to control it?
No, no, not since
In
Thanksgiving.
the
Not since
in the
Thanksgiving.
past, though. But in the past,
Oh
have you
yeah.
tried
Oh
to control
yeah. Yeah.
it? And what
Yeah.
ended up happening when you tried to control it?
It's a lady said she was talking about a mother and daughters. It's like this power play. So as it turns nasty. You get what I'm saying? It turns nasty.
Yeah,
And then when I think about the power thing between the mother and the daughter, it's
yeah,
like, you know, that's another thing where you got to relax. Like it's not about power. I just like to
mm-mm,
live a certain way, and I'm trying to teach her a certain way because she
yeah,
is 14 and she do have a reproductive system. You get what I'm saying? And that's just the way my
yeah,
mom raised us. Like you can reproduce. What you gonna know? That's the problem that I have with this situation too, because he likes to clean up behind her because he something wrong with him, which is fine. That's his business. But that's my thing. Like she have a reproductive system that she can reproduce. She has to know how to do this, It don't come with a book. The you
no,
know. So
right.
it's just like, now it's now it's easier because I don't
Mm,
throw like it's not a power thing. It's just like the older she get, the more I can talk to her too. So now it's just like talking to her and when to talk to her. Like this morning, she missed the bus. And usually I would have snapped. For the last 20 years, I've been snapping because I got a 25-year-old. Like this been going on for years. Like, don't come in here and tell me you missed the bus because I'm gonna start screaming. And that's just it. This morning, I didn't even scream. I didn't even give a shit. I went out there. I was finna try to chase the bus down because that's what I usually do. That's my first move. But I couldn't see because the car was covered in snow. I said, well, you can go back in the house because I'm not taking you to school. And she was like, I gotta go to school. I got finals. And I was like, okay. So I came back in here and I'm like, all right, let my, I'm leaving for a minute, letting the girls know I'm leaving for a minute. And I went and took her to school. And I was not mad. I was proud of myself. I'm like, this is different.
And how did that feel? Not
It felt
react.
good. It felt good.
What did you notice in your body? Like it felt good, but could you describe what you noticed?
I was just relaxed. I was just like, and we
Wow.
actually had a conversation. And she got out the car. You could tell she was happy. She was like, bye, mom. And I'm like, I cut in front of all the cars. I'm like, I'm gonna drop you off at the door. Yeah, no, I drove home. I turned the radio off and I'm like, I can't, I won't.
Wow. But by you not reacting, you were relaxed. It was easier and it opened up conversation between you two
Hmm. Hmm.
versus before, probably the child shutting down because you said your son before, like shutting down and
Yeah,
you
because
shutting
I was screaming. Yeah, I would be screaming. Like I'm sick of this shit. I'm tired. I mean, telling the truth, but but screaming.
right.
Yeah,
Lucretia, like this is beyond huge. Like what I keep hearing in you is you are staying deeply centered and
I
you're
am.
not throwing away your power anymore on things that you just can't even control.
I can't.
It just
It don't even matter. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
I'm celebrating that because this is a huge shift from before we started working together from what you shared with me.
Yeah.
And you were
Hmm.
already on this journey. We've just amplified it. Like that's
Right.
what our work is doing is amplifying what you were
Hmm.
already doing because
Hmm.
you were on.
Right. Exactly.
Now, what I
Mhm.
hear is a deeper commitment to continuing to see yourself and
Mm.
honor yourself.
Yeah, to stay rooted. I keep looking at that picture too. I'm doing some of them exercises
Oh,
just to see.
good.
Yeah. I'm like, I told my cousin about it. He was like, and he a guy. He was like, oh, I want to go with you. Cause I said, I'm thinking about getting a read. I said, I'm getting a because you had it done with Holly, right?
Yeah.
So you describe to me what it was because I just want to be a little bit more clear. She did tell me what it was, but I'm like, it's intriguing, but then like I just want to hear from somebody who actually had it done.
Yeah. And I can send you a picture of mine if you want to see it. But to me, what the experience is she asked you your intention, I believe, when you get there. So I shared what my
Okay.
intention. And then she's been doing this work of channeling the divine for so long, messages start to come through her. So, like messages from my ancestors. So she just starts saying things. She asks you questions every once in a while. And you can take notes if you want. I did.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of what she channeled has come to fruition. And some of it was stuff I was already working on. And she was just like, she'd say things, and I was like, how did you know that? Like, it was stuff that I've been working on for years. I'm like, how did you know that? Like, and she
Mm.
just was saying things that were like deeply intertwined with everything I've been doing over the last 7, 8 years. And I was like, wow.
Okay.
So it was a very powerful process. The pictures are always different because it's just based on whatever you need to support your evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really powerful to me
Okay.
because it helped me to discern for me, like based on the picture and our conversation, like me continuing to follow the path I'm on and to listen to the ancestors. And there might be distractions along the way that look like they're the way,
Mm-hmm.
but come back and stay connected and the ancestors will show you the way. And I'm like, yep, that's truth, because that's what they've been showing me for a very long time
Okay.
since I've worked.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All
So
right.
trust your intuition, trust your gut if you're getting that hit to go and do, a soul portal with her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was it
Or
was just it was just her comment of like it gets louder and like you do the work. I know like I would say that I'm new to it, but then when I sit back and think about it, like I said,
yeah,
I took my own hands off the wheel, and then
yeah,
I'm just like, wow, it was just like wow, like it really do get louder if you keep paying attention to it, like if you do stay
yeah.
rooted. So it
Yeah.
intrigued me. And then I'm like, and then when she said channeling energy, we all do that. But then, like, just makes you want to know more in a sense.
Yeah.
So
Well, and
that's,
I'm curious because it kind of even ties into like what we talked about you do working on this week is that impossibility journal, like celebrating at night, like before you go to bed, everything you're celebrating from the day, and then
yeah.
speaking it possible. So I was curious, have you been practicing? And if either
I,
way, what have you
right.
noticed?
I haven't been practicing, but like okay, so that was the other thing. Like yesterday, I was sitting on the couch watching one of those home shows, and
Okay.
like, like the intuition thing, and it's like really, if you really just focused on what you wanted, then I start feeling like it's possible. Like this is really possible for you. Like this was really possible for you. You know what I mean? And then
Yes.
that's when I came back to I should be doing the journal or whatever. But then I just put my head back on the couch and I just start speaking. And I'm like, you can do this. Like you really can do this. Like you
Uh-huh.
really honestly like, and then it's that strong. The feeling is getting stronger too. Like you really can,
What
this
feeling?
really can work out for you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So that
Oh,
like feeling that knowing is getting stronger. Is that what you're saying?
mhm. Yeah, the knowing, right.
So you did kind of practice it where you were speaking into the impossibilities yesterday.
Yeah, last night, like, but I haven't been like, like
You don't have
regularly.
to feel it. You don't have to record it. Sometimes it's just vocalizing it and getting it
Yeah.
out of the and that's what I do. I don't write it down. I just
Hmm.
speak it out.
Okay.
But was there anything you noticed in doing that yesterday? Like how did that feel of like speaking into some of those things that feel impossible?
It felt like it was possible. Like just keep trusting what you're doing. Like keep practicing, stay rooted, stay grounded in what
Yeah.
you're doing. Stay around your right crowd because obviously you found your crowd. And
Yeah.
like, like don't be afraid to step into this too. That was the other thing with the cat. Like it scared me. You know what I mean? Like it scared me. And I keep telling myself, like, the next time something happens, you can't be scared. But then with the deer thing, it scared me a little bit. Not, it startled me. Like I wasn't scared, but like with the cat, I'm like, holy shit. Like, but then
Yeah.
Me and Monica was standing over there at your house. We standing in the we standing over there. We standing in the basement. Your cat like to get up. Is that a window right there? Is that a window?
Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't looked up and seen this cat at all. I'm like, I'm in there digging, getting snacks out. I'm like, la la la. Monica, like, oh, look at that. Oh shit. So she told me a story. She told me a story about what happened to her. Somebody went under her a contractor from AT&T or something went under her crawl space. And he was asking her so
Yeah.
many questions. She was like, I don't know. My husband used to handle all this stuff. I don't know. And he was like, okay, I'm gonna go under and get in the crawl space. And she said she was there and she heard a shriek, the loudest shriek. She said the man was like 6 feet tall, tattooed all over his neck, like just
Yeah.
built up. She said it was a something under the stairs sitting up like this. Like her husband had left it down there. You forget about it. And he came running back upstairs. He came running back upstairs and was like, she said that the man assumed that her husband had passed away because she was like, my husband used to handle all this. Like, I don't know, like he used to have, and he ran upstairs and told her, your husband is haunting me. She said, so she had me laughing with that. I was like, yeah, that's my usual. I said, I'm sorry, I apologize. I was like, I apologize. I said, but that's my usual reaction to stuff like that. I did not see that cat up there. I'm just digging in the chocolate bag, like, la la, how you ladies been doing? The cat just sitting up there. I'm like, oh, okay. Just startled. But I can't be like scary, like not, like shook
But
because
what if that's for you too?
right. Because no. It is. You're right. You might be right because I'm learning you cannot be afraid.
But what if we are I will so what if we're always going to be afraid, but it's a matter of recognizing the fear and taking the driver, trying taking the wheel back so that fear doesn't drive because you've had fear drive you before. You've
Yeah.
lived by fear and it was
Yeah.
driving in the
Mm-hmm.
back seat. But we're
Mm-hmm.
always going to have fear, but it's saying, "Oh, I see you fear. I'm going to take you by the hand and we're going to go do
Mm-hmm.
this thing."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it's saying do not we're not going to be afraid or like do not be afraid. I don't know if that's real because if you're moving into the unknown, there's going to be a little bit of fear because you can't control it.
Right. Right.
There's going to be
Right.
some fear. It's just a matter of you noticing, oh yeah, I see you fear. I'm going to move you. I'm going to open up and breathe some life in because you're here to breathe new life into me. And let's go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Let's
I
go.
would say that's true. You right
Okay.
about that. But like I it had to happen so that I can get to the point where I can say, alrighty, okay, I see
Yeah.
you. You know what I mean? Instead of being just like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
Great.
yeah.
Well, you've lived that way. I lived that way where I didn't even know I was living in fear and I was just safe and comfortable because I was like, well, it's not that bad. But yet I was deathly afraid my husband was going to commit suicide if I left. But once I admitted that, I was like, oh, I can't unsee that now. Shoot. That means I can't stay comfortable anymore. Shoot. Okay.
Oh wow. So when it was happening, so when this all started, when you start waking up, like this start happening to you then. Like it was just like,
Yeah.
huh.
But it's
Like it
always
was,
there. It's
huh.
always there, Lucretia. That was always happening. It was just I was becoming more aware that it was always there. And I'm like, oh, wait, you've always been here. I just couldn't see you. Because when you're navigating a life in fear, you're literally like, your blinders are extra tight, even because you're
Mm-hmm.
living so much from your brain that
Mm-hmm.
you don't have access to all of this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then when you start to take the blinders off and you start to live from your body and your heart, you're like, holy crap, there's like a whole new world out here. It's
Mm-hmm.
always been there, but you couldn't see it. It's like Dorothy and Oz. Like she couldn't see it at first. But once
Mm-hmm.
she got all the friends she needed, she's like, oh my God, I have everything I need. You always did. It's just a matter of you realizing you have everything you need. Go.
Mm-hmm.
Go live
Right.
the life of your dreams.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly. Right. Exactly. You're right.
Because
100%.
there's going to be things that are going to come up. You've already experienced them. You know your ex isn't going to be moving. He's going to be giving you a difficult time. He's going to hide your boots or get rid of your boots. Like those things are going to keep happening
Mm-hmm. Oh
because
yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's fighting you to keep following where you're being called
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My
and
ears
not
are
get
ringing
caught.
as you saying that. Mm-hmm.
Huh?
I said my ears are ringing as you saying
Yeah.
that. Mm-hmm.
So when your ears ring, what does that mean for you?
Like it's a message that you really should pay attention to.
Yeah.
Like a download almost. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So notice when those are coming through for you,
Mm-hmm. I
Lucretia.
do. That's
You're,
why I said
I
something.
know. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Great,
Yeah.
because you're appreciating the way that you're like channeling
Mm-hmm.
how God speaks through you. Because the more you bring attention and awareness to those things, the bigger they amplify. What you
Mm-hmm.
put your attention on grows.
Right.
So by
Mm-hmm.
you acknowledging, oh my God, my ears are ringing, that's truth. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, you're
keep
right.
noticing how your intuition speaks through you because I have a sense, Lucretia, it's gonna get louder, but it's also it might shift a little bit because you're giving it more attention. Like your ears are ringing. You have this knowing, this feeling in you. And it might continue to open up, just like you seeing the cat, you seeing the deer, and like you're seeing them everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I pulled the card off the table and it said, you are a wildlife keeper. You are a keeper of elk. I'm like,
Are
that
you kidding?
was the first word. I was like, alrighty. I'm now see, but now like after me running from the cat thing, I didn't run from it, but like I'm like, and I went out the office or whatever. But now like read that card, it don't faze me as much. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
it's like I'm gonna probably be like, whoa, if it ever happened, I'll still be in shock and whoa, and oh, it blew my mind. But like reading that card, I'm like, okay, alrighty, be ready.
Yeah.
It's like a more of a be ready than be scared. Like, oh, I don't want it to happen, or you know what I mean. You know how
Yeah.
you know how it is.
Well, I got the sense of you leaning fully in, and like
Mhm.
when you're leaning fully in, your mind is going to keep being blown because that was the limitations. And now it's like, nope, let's keep exploding that. Let's keep breaking
Yeah.
that free
Hmm.
because there's so much more.
Hmm. It's insane. It's insane. Like one of the ladies said at Circle, she like last year around this time, she like, it's crazy how you can turn into a whole nother lady. And I'm just looking at her like, oh, I really understand that. Like that really resonates with me.
Yeah. Showing up for yourself honors you show up for everybody else in a whole different way.
It's insane. It's
I,
crazy.
it seems like what you're telling me is that your relationship with your daughter is even changing and
It
you're giving
is.
her more permission to be exactly where she is and
Mhm.
honor where she is and it, give her the wisdom that you've been given because you're further along in the journey than her
Right. Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
making her take responsibility because you are raising an adult, like not she's not an adult yet, but that's ultimately what you're doing is you're raising a
Right.
healthy functioning
Yeah.
adult.
Mhm. Mhm.
So if you're practicing the partner muse method with her,
I've been doing it with him and I feel so much better. Cause he been doing stuff to try to just get on my nerve really bad. You can just see it now.
ooh,
It's so nasty with him. Like he gross. But it's all right. It's okay. It's
what
it's
are you
good.
noticing for you as you're doing the partner muse with method with him? You're not fixing him. You're not trying to change
No.
him.
Mm-mm.
You're connecting with him by itself. Yeah.
I
What do you
just
know?
see him. I just see us being so friendly and so cool and signing these divorce papers. He just don't have no idea. Like he don't even know that I'm like, because part of me know I'm gonna get through this. This is not gonna be hard. Like I'm not gonna be 40 years in court, fight over nothing. He can have it all. He threw my boots in the garbage anyway. What else can I fight for?
Yeah. But it's interesting how as you are staying centered and peaceful and relaxed, it's almost causing more chaos because he's like, what the heck is going on? Like
Yes,
I
and
can't
I'm not
control her. I
reacting.
can't even get her mad. Like, yeah, you're not reacting at all. He's like, all right, fine, I'm gonna get louder, like a little kid having a temper
Yeah.
tantrum.
Right. It is. It's true. And then I'm noticing that I can deal with her. I can deal with my kid because she's 14 and she do stuff like that. Because they both so used to me living it. Like I raised her in anger, and fear. And we
Yeah,
argue all the time. It's just haven't been a happy, good place for her. I understand that. So now I don't react to him or to her. And like
yeah,
now I don't react to him or to her. And I can deal with her. She 14. She do stuff like this. Like she just be like, like she's a kid though.
yeah,
This is 14-year-old stuff. I'm realizing that I cannot deal with them, both of them. I can't deal with both of them. Like I will not deal with both of them, but I will deal with my kid. Like him, no. Oh no. I'm not dealing with him.
yeah,
I'm just not. Because why are you acting like that? You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
He turns the music on. He just doing stuff to irritate me, just to irritate me. So for Christmas, he has to leave. He has to leave. He can't be here for Christmas with me and my family.
so
He not.
and I'm just curious, have you shared that with him?
But yeah, today I did.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was like, but he usually leave on Christmas every year because the narcissistic attitude will their personality, they will like ruin every effing thing for you. And then my sister is not, I married my sister. I realized that years ago through the Eat, Pray, Love era thing that I went through. I married
Yeah,
her. I really did marry the male version of my sister because that's all I knew. So she hopped on his side one year. She
oh
hopped
yeah,
on his side. Like he got OCD. It's a lot of
yeah,
mental issues going on there. I do know. I'm not a medical doctor, but I do know. A doctor will agree with me, I promise you, because I done talked to many of them. So I couldn't find a cake pan one year, and she wanted the cake. She want my pound cake. She wanted it again this year. I don't mind giving her my pound cake. I couldn't find my cake pan. That drives me literally to insanity inside of my brain when I can't find something. Like you put your cake pan right there where you put it at, and you want to go back and get your cake pan. I couldn't find a cake pan. Oh, she took it and blew it up. She took it and blew it up. Girl, give
Really?
him a chance, this, and that. And I'm just like, now she don't even bother me neither, because now I know, like, I married her. I married her because that's all I knew. I didn't know no better.
Wow. I want to just celebrate that awareness. And maybe you had it before, but now you're like, oh, for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, 1000%. And when I was working at the grocery store, it was a lady who was married to a she said he was narcissistic for 30 years. She had 5 kids by him.
Yeah.
Christy, I call her Blondie. She lived over we was talking or whatever. She was going through the divorce process, and we connected through our stories or whatever. And
Yeah.
she said, I married my mother. And I said, I understand. I married my sister. Like we both understood. I said, I didn't know no better. And she kind of, like you talk about it, because after going through it, it's easier to talk about. Like when you in it, you can't see what you in. So
No.
yeah, I've been had that realization, but like it's really signed, sealed, and confirmed, especially
Yeah.
after this year. But yeah,
Yeah.
that one year for Christmas, she was like, "You ain't got to be going off on him." I wasn't even going off on him. I was going off in the garage. I'm like, "What the f? Why the f?" Da, 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 da. But I was in the garage. It was only me and her out there. She was like, "Girl, you need to calm down. This and this and that." And that's why I was like, "Ah, okay, yeah, break
Yeah.
the dynamic up."
Yep.
But I
And
told her if she started getting on my nerve, I won't make that cake, and I promise you I won't. So she been fine. She haven't even called me.
once again, you're taking your power back. And to
Uh-huh.
be real, like in the past, you went to that out of safety, out of security. It is what you knew. It was not wrong. And now you know you want more than safety and security. You want to be fully seen and
Hmm.
supported in who you are,
Right.
not that way.
Right. Yeah. 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 When you look back and you think about it, you make yourself sick when you think about it.
Well, and how can we what would it be like for you to use some of that energy from what was to move you now, like to give you that momentum to keep taking the action you need to take to move you out of this life that is no longer for you?
More gratitude, thankful that I was able to move out of that. You know what I mean? That I did wake up to it. I don't think about
Yeah.
it as much, but like when you look back and you just looking at the person, like it makes you really sick, because you wonder what the F was I thinking?
Yeah.
You
So
know how
it
you had
brings
those moments. You had those moments like, oh, like what the?
yeah. That's because once again, you're utilizing that power from the past to move you rather than letting it
Mhm,
bury you and stay underneath it.
mhm.
So was there something that you wanted to focus our time on today more so than what we already are? We can keep going with what we're doing.
Not really. I didn't write nothing down other than that. I journaled. I think that was this morning. I wrote. Oh, yeah, because I wrote. Yeah, I journaled from 12:17 right before 12:03. That's the kind of morning it was. But no, other than that, that was it. Like that's probably like us working together is like I feel better. I feel good. Like us working together, like you giving me words of encouragement and stuff like that is letting me know I'm on the right path, and it's giving me like an
Yeah.
outlet to talk about some of this stuff to somebody who understands it. So it's like it is building trust to be able to even just talk about it. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like you talk about it, it's clear, and then things
Yeah.
happen. So it's almost like an outlet, which is good. So it's the trust is there and the voice is there. It's just it's just coming together more week by week by week, because I told you like a couple weeks ago, I don't know if it was last month, I'm like more. like more keep coming up or whatever. So like it just keep getting deeper and deeper. And then after I had that consultation with the divorce people,
Yeah.
I felt more powerful, you know what I mean? So which is more too, because you gain knowledge from those sessions. You gain resources, like it is, I learned anyway that it's help out there. It's available. Like and you're not the only one that's going through this. So you learn that in certain, come in a circle, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah. You're not alone.
No, no, no. I wanted to suggest also, speaking of that
Yeah.
I know that you keep it like, you keep an agenda on it, which is good. Like it's fine, whatever. But like at the same time, because everybody is going through something, I don't know how to say this, like the risk. So I don't know how to ask neither in circle, because it's kind of like,
Yeah.
like you there. So for like resources, so you don't stand up and be like, oh, I'm getting divorced. Anybody want to give resources? I don't know if that's right or wrong. You get what I'm saying? But like I know it's resources in the room from other people. So I don't know. Like you get what I'm saying? Like I don't
Yeah.
know. Like because
That's a
it
great
is other,
idea.
huh?
I said that's a beautiful idea of like, even if it's maybe not during circle while we're doing our ritual and like that kind of stuff, but at the
Right,
end, like that's a great opportunity at the end. Hey, I'm curious if anybody else is going through divorce. I would love some resources. You know
right.
what
Like, yeah.
and bringing it out. And it's vulnerable. So like
Yeah.
that's where that space is open after to stay, mingle, talk to others, and bring it up, because that's something I've been being guided to, is just open up the space even more for
Right.
women to share. But there might not be in the circle space where we share the resources. That might be after, which is awesome.
Right. Right. See, and I don't know how, right. And I don't know. I just had that thought. I was like, I'm gonna ask Jenny about
Yeah.
that. Like I
Yeah.
don't, like this is your circle, this is your thing. Don't get me wrong, but that's just a suggestion from one of the participants, because
I love
who's
it.
to say, you know what I mean? Who's to say if you got something somebody else can use, or they got something you can use? Given
Yes.
my situation, you get what I'm saying? And given,
Absolutely.
right, and giving other women that been through this or are going through this.
Yep.
So,
And this is from what you've shared, it's people that you feel as if you can trust that are on a similar path. So the
mhm,
resources are even more supportive because they're people that are like you,
right. Mhm.
as opposed to like people that you might just meet on the street that think this stuff is weird. You know what I mean?
Right, right, exactly. Because
So
I've been calling around to these lawyers and stuff that the Lilac House has
yeah,
suggested. You know what I mean? You know,
yeah,
and I don't know these people, and not saying that I have to know them or nothing, but then they are coming through the Lilac House, so they have probably worked with women before. And she was like,
yes,
telling me to ask a certain question and that, but like being in a circle around women and knowing that some of them women going through either went through what you're going through, or
yep,
I just had that thought in my head. I just had that thought. It just came to me,
yeah.
so I'm just putting it out there to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have, if you're okay with it, I could connect you with the women I know that have recently gone through a divorce. Like Fiona was not that long ago. Um, and I'm not sharing, she shared something about that too, about the divorce.
Right, see, and that's the other thing, it's like,
Whereas
you don't
Holly was like years ago. So like the resources aren't as like, you know what I mean? It's 10 years
mhm,
ago
right,
that and like we did ours ourselves with a resource of Hello Divorce. So like we did it that way, and we didn't have attorneys because it was amicable and we were on the same page. So
mhm,
we didn't need to have attorneys. I didn't want to have attorneys because they charge a ridiculous amount of money and they really start fights. But like Fiona, I know, had to use an attorney, and it's
mhm,
there for. So like I would be happy to connect you with her.
okay, or even just like a sign sheet. Like if y'all got any resources for this, or you know what I mean, if you was to present it, because I didn't know how to bring it
Yeah.
up. And you could say, oh, if you got anything that you would suggest for divorce, you can leave it on this paper. You know what I mean? That way it'll
Okay.
stay private. It will stay. You get what I'm saying? I didn't know. I'm bringing it to you because I didn't know how to bring it up. Like I just didn't. That's not
Yeah.
our
No,
topic. It's not our topic when we there, but it can be very resourceful.
it can be. Well, and it might be where it's like a question of what do we need resources for right
Yeah,
now?
that's a good
What,
question too, right?
like, you know what I mean? Just keeping it more open rather than like just around divorce, because
Right.
then it
No.
opens up the ability. Like,
Right.
what do
It
we
could
need
be
more
job
resources
leads.
for?
It can
Right.
it can be job leads. It can be housing leads. It can be anything. Like
Yeah. I
so
love
yeah,
it.
open ended, open just resource it can be very resourceful, I feel like. So that's just my suggestion.
I appreciate it. Always bring them. You're never going to hurt my feelings. That's how Circle evolves and grows with us, is
Uh-huh.
because we need to bring in those other pieces because we
Hmm.
are working to create community here. And that's where
Right.
we pass on our resources that we each have so that we can share those.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because it's a painful process trying to find attorneys and like doing all that stuff. You're going through it right now where you're calling around and it's like, how do you even know?
Yeah, right.
It's
I
hard.
don't see, and I don't want this. And right, I don't want this. I want us to do what we did when we got married. We went and got the paper. We went to the courthouse. You know what I mean? We went to the courthouse. We did everything. I want it to be just the same because they don't know us.
That's an
We don't know them.
that is an
Let's
option, Risha.
right. I
There,
know that.
that's
Right.
what it is in the county. I worked with the judge, and that's what we did. It was the self service kind of judge, and she gave us the paperwork. This is what you have to do, and if you are on the same page as each other, it's really easy,
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going for. Because I don't want nothing. Like I don't want to fight for ain't nothing to fight over.
right? And as long as he's on the same page and he's
Hmm.
willing to be amicable with you, you could absolutely do that,
Right. He has no choice because I ain't gonna fight with him.
right? So then you already have your answer, and now it's just taking that next step.
Right, exactly.
And
Hmm.
right now, you're building your ammunition for you to take that next step because it is going to be a very similar process where you go in and you get the paperwork and then you fill it out, you're in the court and they're like, okay, you're divorced, instead of you're married, you're divorced.
Right, right. And then I'm gonna throw the biggest divorce party ever.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, the
Oh,
biggest divorce party.
well, and I'm going to be doing a ceremony for people going through that next year, either in divorce, separated, and I told you that, so that's coming.
Oh,
um
are you?
I am.
Oh, yo, I don't think you told me.
Oh,
What's that gonna look
I
like?
don't know when it is. I just know it's happening. That's all. I have a knowing of it.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a ritual around it because I don't like the traditional, it feels very harsh of like a cord cutting. Um, it's going to be something that's more graceful and supportive for us.
Honorable, like honorable.
Yeah,
Like you have to honor that part of what it is.
correct. Correct.
Okay.
I don't fully know what it is. All I know is that. And I know there's going to be some sort of ceremony that we're going to do for women that are going through separation, divorce, or some sort of like major transition where they are moving into a new season of life.
Hmm. I like that. I'm
So,
glad I'll whatever comes through me, I'll let you know. I'm glad you let me know because
please,
I'm the lady
yes,
that's going through that.
I know, right? So I'm curious, like, holidays are approaching. You've already had this conversation with your ex that he cannot be here. Is there anything else that would be supportive to prepare you for next week preparing for holidays?
No, I'm gonna keep practicing. I'm gonna keep listening to my voice, my intuition. Um, I am gonna honor myself and not stoop down to his level.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna keep pushing. That's all I can
Tell
do.
me more about the push. Tell me more about the pushing.
I mean, pushing, practicing, like just keep
Okay.
going, like going down the right road. Try not to be pulled or anything.
Yeah.
like pulled into the wrong direction. And I gotta stay
And
in
if
practice too.
yeah, and it let's say you do accidentally get pulled in the wrong direction, would you be willing to just notice your experience and what happens in you without making it wrong? Because sometimes that happens for us so that we can be like, "Oh yeah, that's right," because it happened to you before on at
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
right.
And
Yeah.
you just notice, and you're like, and it's not you're not falling back into that trap. But if you do, I'm just saying with
Hmm.
because if rather than beating ourselves up of like I did it again, she's like, "Oh, that's interesting.
Hmm.
Okay, cool." You know what
Hmm.
I mean? It's not
Right.
wrong.
Hmm. Yeah. It's
Like,
like another tool he pulled out the box, and it's like, oh, I see the tool coming,
right,
and let me go the other way.
right. And how's that been going with the honoring? Because I know we talked about last week about like the boundaries versus honoring, and you
Right.
really like the honoring piece. So how's that been going as you're practicing that?
Really good, because he's been really trying. I mean, really hard. It's getting nasty. It's like he knows something, but he don't know. You get what I'm saying? Like he can just feel the divide.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it.
Lucretia, he's sensing your energy is not going at him anymore. It's staying here, and you're getting alongside of him because this is going to be a friendly process. And he doesn't
Very.
know what to do because he's had you going at him for so long. That's no longer the case. And he's like, all right, fine. So he's like kind of reacting because he doesn't have that energy that was kind of probably feeding him before.
Yeah. Right.
And you're not anymore. So he's trying to get some sort of reaction from you.
So
And
sweet. Hmm.
well, it just is, and, like, to me, the fact that you said that you have needed to be quiet like never before tells me that you're opening up the space for you to listen like you've never
Hmm.
before.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I'm not saying listen, I'm saying listen.
Yeah.
Where
Right. Hmm.
intuition is coming from in you is you're listening, and, like, I'm also hearing that you're listening to your daughter in another way, where you're able to
Hmm.
meet her in a whole nother way.
Right. Yeah. Because I
And
haven't yelled or anything.
yeah, this what I'm gonna celebrate it again because this is so huge, Lucretia. You're giving yourself by not reacting and throwing outsourcing your power and giving it away, you're harnessing your power so that intuition in you is getting louder because it's all directed through you now as opposed to moving out of you.
Hmm.
So like this is beyond it's so big and I know it seems so small, but it's this is the life-changing thing that you're doing.
Yeah. I think it's big too. I really think it's big.
Yeah,
I think it's huge.
it is. And
This
you're doing
morning was huge for me. It was huge. Like I wanted to stop at McDonald's and give me a coffee. That was my celebration. But
did
I'm
you?
like, no. No, I
So then
didn't because I wasn't clocked out. If I wasn't on the
okay,
clock, I wasn't
that
clocked
makes
out.
sense.
I was like,
So
you
then
can't
what would
have
you
both ways. I mean, be happy that you can be happy that you can go drive her to school. You get what I'm saying? And you not at work.
yes,
So I was like, just go back to
right.
work. I did. I was fine. But I was like, I'm
So
just so
what is
happy. Like,
so then what how could you celebrate this? Like I know you didn't this morning, but how could you celebrate it even if it's something really small, taking care of your plants, whatever that is? Like how could you celebrate
I'm
this
going to
big
the
thing that
spa to
happened?
give me a massage.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is way different. Cause like even with the Christmas tree around Thanksgiving, I was like, F that, I'm not putting up no tree.
Yeah,
F these people.
right. Yeah.
And like this morning, I haven't unplugged it. It's lit up. And I won't unplug it. I'm like, I just keep telling my daughter, I'm like, I just love this tree. Like everything about this holiday season feel different versus with Thanksgiving, because it's just like I didn't even want to do this. Like, I don't know. I just feel I can feel the divide, like you know what I mean? Like, because I'm not focused on him and him coming up there saying something. And I think that's what it is too. I don't know. I just don't know. So I'm gonna keep into that space. I'm going
Awesome.
I'm gonna stay practicing muse. I did do the
Okay.
muse method today. I will do it
Okay.
again tonight. And it is like puzzle pieces falling. You know, like when you breathe in and you say connect and expand, and it's like puzzle pieces all falling together where they should be.
And what will that create for you by you staying deeply connected and those puzzle pieces falling into place as they should be? What will that
The
create for
life
you?
that I want, the life, the independence that I want back, the peace that I want back in my life, the me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
And what could that create outside of you by you continuing to stay connected? What might that how might that like radiate those changes outside of you in addition to?
It'll help the people around me too. Like it's it's helping my kid. That's the most important. Like maybe
Yeah.
she'll feel the calm instead of like she don't know when I'm a rage. You know what I mean? Because I was a raging bull. I was nuts.
Yeah. And let's be real, Lucretia, you needed to be a raging bull because that fierce part of you, that anger, that fire, it was rising up because you needed something different, but you were putting it out on others. So
Uh-huh.
now if that anger shows up, you can move it through your body so that you
Hmm.
can create that honoring practice of like, yep, that ain't it.
Yeah. Right. Hmm. Hmm.
You're being the campfire and just stoking that flame and saying, "Yep, I see you. I'm going to be angry because you're allowed to be angry. Emotions are
Yeah. Oh
here."
yeah. You get pissed all the time. Right. Right. It's
Yeah,
just how you choose to deal with your pistons. Hmm.
right. And now
Hmm.
you're doing it and you're practicing and you're living. So it's like we're practicing always, right? So it's
Hmm.
what do you consciously want to keep practicing, and that's what you're choosing is I want to be conscious of what I'm practicing.
Hmm. I will. Yeah. I'm gonna continue to
All
do this. Hmm.
right. And then keep playing with that impossibility journal
Yeah, the
and speaking
impossibility journal.
like celebrating as you're doing, like celebrating the awarenesses you're having, celebrating your intuition, and then speaking into what you feel might be impossible right now
Mhm. Mhm.
because you're strengthening, like you said, the possibilities of what is.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, is there anything like what are you walking away with from our time together today?
That I am on the right path, and to keep on the right path, and to keep listening, like, because it is going you keep saying, and I don't know if you noticing, you keep saying it's gonna get louder. It's gonna get louder. So you echo what Holly's saying. And I don't know if you know that.
Yep.
Like, but
Well,
you also have to know from doing this work that it is gonna get louder because you know.
yeah, I do know.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I can see it in you. I've seen it in you since the beginning, since I met you on that path where we were walking the wrong direction of everybody else. Is I knew I'm like, oh, she's ready. And
Mhm.
that's what I'm here to do is to amplify what's already present in you
Right.
that you
Mhm.
keep following and follow the right path for you, which may be the wrong direction for everyone else.
Mhm. 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 They go on that ear ringing again. Yep.
I wanted, if you're okay with it, I wanted to read a quick poem because it came up when you were speaking, and I was like, oh, I feel like I need to share it. I'm going to put it in my follow up email, but I wanted
Okay.
to read it.
Yeah. Because I do like to go back. It's good to go back and read stuff from Circle, like this paper, the paper she gave me. It's like you sometimes it feel intense leaving. Well, the other night I felt intense leaving Circle. So it felt good to go
Yeah,
back and like read it and just like not intense in a bad way, just like whoa, like you know what I mean? And then it's just
mind blowing.
yeah, right, exactly. And then you know, like, whoa, like you got your crowd or whatever.
And let me acknowledge, I want to acknowledge the fact that you followed that intense feeling that was there and you settled yourself
Hmm.
through caring for yourself of what you needed to integrate everything and digest it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Everybody
Hmm.
does that. So you were following really beautifully of allowing and like what support do I need? Okay, reading this and doing some of these practices would be really supportive to keep this all of this medicine moving.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hmm. Hmm. So it's
So
good
this
that you
poem.
sent out those follow up.
Oh, good. Yeah, I will be following up hopefully later today or tomorrow. It's been a week. I had a root canal, so I'm like, take
Ah.
yeah, yeah, no fun. But it's this one's called Traveler, Your Footprints. It's by Antonio Machado.
Okay.
Traveler, your footprints are the only road, nothing else. Traveler, there is no road. You make your own path as you walk. As you walk, you make your own road. And when you look back, you see the path you will never travel again. Traveler, there is no road, only a ship's wake on the sea.
Ah, I received that. Wow.
That's exactly what I feel from what you share today is the ship's wake on the sea of you moving, and it's creating these ripples into everyone else's lives because you're following where you're being called and you're not letting anybody anchor you to where they think you should be.
Yeah. Mhm.
You've released those anchors and you're like, I love you, I'm out. I
Mhm.
love you, I'm out.
Right, and then when you said the poem said you turn around and you see the path that you will no longer be on.
Mhm.
Wow. Oh my God.
It's a
That's
whole new
touching.
it's a whole new path.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's something else. This is something else. I didn't know what I was sticking my foot into. But it's good. It's good stuff. I love it.
Good. And you can't go back through the eye of the needle. You've already gone through the eye of the needle, and you can see, oh, yep, I went through that tight hole. I ain't going back.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Dick Gregory said, once you put the magic glasses on, you can't take them off. He said you
No,
can't take them off. And then
no,
that's all he talk about is magic glasses. And people, who don't know, it go right over their head. But I'm like, he was on to something with that, you know? So
yep,
yeah.
exactly. People that don't know, they don't know.
No.
You can't
Mm-mm.
make them. Okay, so let's look because I know next week is Christmas, and I didn't know when you wanted to meet again. So I'm looking at the wrong week. So I don't. Do you want to take next week off? Because like I'm available to meet on the 26th or 27th, or do you want to wait until after New Year's? What are your thoughts?
No, let's do the 27th is a Friday, correct?
It is a Friday, correct?
Yeah, I think let's do, yeah, I gotta work that Friday. So let's do Friday. If you okay with it. So
Absolutely. So you want to do Friday? Do you want to do 4 o'clock then?
um I can do 3 o'clock if you want to,
Oh
if you
yes,
can.
yes I can. So I'm going to move you on my schedule. Oh, well maybe I'm not. I think it's on my other calendar that I can't do on my phone. So we're going to move to 12/27 at 3 p.m. So I'll send you an updated calendar invite, and then I've got you down for the 27th at 3 o'clock.
And
And
if
then
it
if
changes, then obviously I'll text you, but it should be good.
yeah, and if anything shifts, let's just let me know. And if you want to reach out in between sessions, feel free. You can text me,
Okay.
you can voice message
Mhm.
me. It can be a celebration of like, I did it again and my intuition's getting louder, whatever. Or it can be, I'm struggling with this and I don't have an answer. It can be whatever you need it to be.
Okay.
Know you have that support in between our time together.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Even though like, okay. Yeah.
And then did you want me to connect you with Fiona
No,
or no?
I'll probably just ask her when I see her again. What about
Awesome.
Holly's information though? Like, did you?
Oh, I'm gonna send it out with my email when I follow up with her website, so you can sign up if you want to do the soul portal
Yeah.
portrait. Uh,
Mhm.
yes, I'm gonna follow up in my follow up email after circle. Yes, you'll get that either today or tomorrow. Most likely tomorrow, knowing that I have to teach tonight. So
Okay.
most likely tomorrow, you will get an email with Holly's link and then all the other goodies that I put in there, the
Okay.
songs, everything else.
You teaching tonight? What? I'm just curious.
Oh, I teach coaches, so I teach other coaches how to coach.
Oh, okay. All right. Just curious.
Yeah.
You know.
I was like, you get the yoga. I still have to send you this week's yoga class. I did a holiday themed yoga. So if you want to do that, it's to get us to move the holidays through our body.
Yeah, I need to do something because me not been going on a walk or something and start to, you know.
Oh, so you need to get out and move a little bit.
Yeah, right. It's just I'm starting to feel heavy, not like actually heavy. That's why I'm gonna go get a massage and you know what I mean, move around that way
Yeah.
too. So,
Yeah. Well, I will follow up with the yoga class too. So you can maybe do that if you feel called.
right, something. Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. welcome.
And I'll
You're
see,
welcome, Lucretia. Thank you for all your feedback too.
yes, I'll see you next Friday after Christmas. Merry Christmas, lady.
I will see you guys have a Merry Christmas
I
too.
will.
And then,
I'm
yeah, I'll see
going
you.
to.
I know you will. No X in the house. You have your own party.
Yeah, I am. All righty. I'll talk to you. Thank
All
you.
right, guys,
Have a good night.
take care.
Bye.
I'll send you my email follow up from our session too.
Okay. Thank you.